Hi, hello everyone, and welcome to the episode 2 of our live stream for today, where we will discuss the secret sauce to creating an irresistible offer. So, um, just to recap on what we discussed on the first live stream episode, we were discussing about the market, so how we can choose the market that is right for us, and how we can serve that market in an infinite business mindset. So instead of competing on competitors, you're competing against your market so that you keep on innovating and addressing their problems and possibly create the offers that they will value and eventually buy. So the question for today is that how do we create irresistible offers for our market? So um, most startups today want product market fit, right? Just like what I said earlier in the first episode. That's why they create an MVP or a minimum viable product. And they build an MVA or a minimum viable audience where they can test that MVP. Once that is done right, they can be successful and profitable. So if they get product market fit, a product market and even brand fit, then they become successful and profitable. But most startups still fail. In fact, 90% of startups go bankrupt in the first 3 to 5 years. And most founders find it hard to sustain their startups due to a number of reasons. And one of the defining factors is the offer. So if your offer doesn't provide value to the market that you've chosen, then you will have a hard time selling it. So, with that said, let's go to our presentation here. So, the secret sauce to creating an irresistible offer. Now, let me just let me know, guys, if you agree to this statement that I'm gonna show you right now. So, an offer. Here's the statement: an offer becomes irresistible if the value they get exceeds the price they pay. So if you agree, send me a heart. If you don't, then send me a thumbs down. And yeah, I don't care. But yeah, for me, the value of an offer, if the offer is really valuable and it exceeds the price they pay, then it becomes irresistible. So that's the statement then that I'm basing this presentation off. So for you guys, if you really agree with this, send me a heart in the comments and let me know. Now, why am I so adamant? Why am I so passionate about the offer? And is the offer just about the product, about the service, or about how you promote it? So, what I want you to know, guys, is that an offer is comprised of um, more than two of these things. So, an offer can be your product or your service, and you should also have this element, the element of scarcity or urgency in your offer. And the third one is it should have something to reverse the risk or at least some bonuses so that your market will perceive your offer as something of high value, and they will be able to push the trigger and buy your offer or your product or your service. So for me, I've experienced this the hard way in my e-commerce journey and how it failed. So, in 2020, 2019 to 2020, I tried e-commerce, and what I did was that I tried to copy everyone else because it was such a trend back then, even now, right? So drop shipping, e-commerce, if everyone's familiar. So what I did was I went to YouTube University and I learned how to drop ship, how to create a website, how to create an e-commerce shop, and get some products from Alibaba or AliExpress and then sell it. Now, what I did wrong there was that I just copied what everyone else was doing. I sold the same products which were trending. At first, it was doing good, but then due to uh, burning my money on ads, it was a failure. So what I could have done right back then was that I should have created my product, position it as something unique that they really need, and yeah, put some bonuses. At least ha- make it perceivingly high valued for my market, and for us to really put value in an offer or a product or a service, it isn't really limited to monetary or financial value. It could also be um, social proof. So there's a formula to value. So it could be value equals desired outcome plus the social proof like testimonials and other stuff, and divided by how fast and how easy it is for them to use or to get to that desired outcome. So that's the formula for value. If you can really provide the desired outcome for your market, then your offer is really already good. Plus, if you can provide proof that you are able to fulfill that desired outcome again and again based on what you have done with other customers, then your offer becomes exceedingly good. But if you can make it easier and faster than everyone else in your competition, then your offer becomes irresistible. So that's how you can create more value to your offers, to your products, and to your services. Now, what are some of the ways that you can create value? So I have some frameworks here that I would like to teach. So the first one is more on the blue ocean versus the purple ocean. So if you noticed here, there are two types of methods to really penetrate a market, to really position your offer as something unique, or at least position your offer where your market is at. So there are two, the blue ocean and the red ocean. So the red ocean is where competition is really prevalent. Like everyone else is selling the same products as you. So the competition is really high. The blue ocean though is where you're the first or you're the only one who offers this kind of product or this kind of service. But why am I putting the purple ocean here? Because most startups try to use the blue ocean strategy, becoming the first, becoming the most innovative, becoming the only one in their category. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, if you're the only one, then it's much harder to really convince your market that this is a solution that can solve their problems because they haven't seen it done before from anyone else. So what I urge everyone else to do is to find your purple ocean, a mixture of the red and the blue ocean. So find something that everyone already knows. Everyone is already using this, but at the same time, disrupt the expectation for that solution. Try to add some features, benefits, or try to add some components or items that make you unique in a way that you create your own category instead of competing against top competitors in your industry. So that's the purpose behind the purple ocean. Now, for our next framework is something that psychologists really push also. So if there's anyone here who are psychologists or psychology majors, so I think you're really familiar with this. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there are five stages. The first one is really more on the physiological need. Second one is on the security needs, safety needs. Third one is love and belonging. The fourth one is more on self-esteem, and the fifth one is self-actualization. So, why am I talking about this? Maslow's hierarchy of needs um, motivates your market or motivates all people in their DNA because it's really rooted in our DNA for survival. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is more on really telling your brain how to survive. So that's why it's hierarchy of needs. You need this so in order for you to survive, and also for your family or your tribe to survive. So if your product can provide the physiological needs that they really really are, they really want and they really are looking at, like for example, if um, you're selling food in a restaurant. So what's the physiological need there? The physiological need there is nutrition, food. So yeah, that's the physiological need. Now, if we take it a step further to safety needs, so are can you provide shelter? Can you provide job security? Because employees are also customers, right? And then the third one is love and belonging. Do you have a community that you can foster using your own brand? Nike does this really well, right? Because they have this mentality of creating a community of um, high achievers in sports. The fourth one is self esteem. Also, yeah, my example here is Nike. Also, um, they really urge everyone to be proud of themselves and really improve progress. So that's also one way of positioning themselves in the market. And then the fifth one is self actualization. This is more on your purpose, your causes, your advocacies, how you become bigger than yourself, how you can provide uh, something greater than who you are or where your tribe is. So this is where all the advocacies are rooted from. So if you have a brand and you have an advocacy, you're addressing that fifth stage of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is a trend right now. Almost all brands right now have advocacies that they are uh, fighting for. They have causes, they have stands. They are very active in social issues, political, social, and all the uh, self actualization factors that we know of. So yeah, if your product can address at least three of those stages in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or if your offer has all those components of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then you're one step further to creating a very irresistible offer. Now the next one is the transformation. Here, this is more of a positioning framework instead of really a framework of creating an irresistible offer. So instead of selling the features of your product, how amazing it is, the tech behind it, the process, the concept behind it, instead of selling that, instead of trying to become interesting to the people, to the market that you're trying to sell to, try to sell them the transformation. How can your product or how can your offer or your service help them transform from being who they are right now to who they want to be in the future? So one example again for Nike is um, you're still the transformation is from um a beginner athlete to becoming an elite champion. So if you could position your product or your offer in between that process, then you have sold the transformation. Almost all the successful brands, all the successful startups are using this positioning because it's very powerful. If you can let your market or your target avatar or your buyer persona imagine themselves in a position that they become transformed using the product or the service or the offer that you have, then you have made yourself a very irresistible offer. So those are the three frameworks that I leave with you here today. And if um uh you want, if I can give you something to really ponder upon, to really check if your offer is really really irresistible, try to offer it to as many people as they can. And if they feel stupid when they say no to it, then your offer has officially become irresistible. An offer becomes irresistible when they feel stupid about saying no, because the value, it really exceeds the price that they can pay. So usually if people say, your product is too expensive, or your product is something that I can't afford, usually there's a deeper objection there, where to them the value is not worth it. Now if the value exceeds more than what it's worth, and they're paying less, that's why discounts are such a craze for most people, right? Because you've positioned yourself in a higher price, and then if you say 50% discount or 70% discount, the value then exceeds the price they're paying for. But instead of giving discounts, we're adding benefits, we're adding features, we're adding social proof, we're adding um, risk reversals, we're adding bonuses to your offer, and that becomes uh, they they perceive your offer now as very high valued, and it becomes irresistible. Almost they almost feel stupid when they say no. So that's how you create an irresistible offer. Now, if you're interested on how you can um, create the offers, or you have any questions about how exactly do we create our offers as startups, or as service providers, or as business owners, you can ask me anything in the comments. I'll I'll give around 5 to 10 minutes of questions. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And while waiting for your questions, guys, if you want to apply the things that I've taught you here, from episode 1 up to episode 2, you just gotta download the Ultimate Business Idea Launch workbook, and it's in the description of this post. So you can just fill up the form and download the workbook. It's all for free, so you can use it and abuse it as much as you want. Just let me know how it go. How does it go for you? Is it really useful for you? Do we have to change anything? So just give us feedback. That's all I ask. So, do we have any questions, guys? How can we apply this knowledge on our market research? So, um, yeah, this is the first question I got here. To apply this knowledge on your market research, you just have to go and download the workbook. That's really on application side. All the frameworks that I'm teaching here, you can use it by downloading the workbook and really applying all those frameworks on your market research. That's it. Do we have anyone else? I guess no questions for now. So if there are no questions, it's either you have really uh, grasped and it's everything is clear for you, or you have too many questions that you don't know where to start. But it's all right. You can message me anytime if you have any questions, and you can also just download the workbook and apply it on your own, so that you know how you can choose the market that you really want, and create the offer as and make it irresistible, so the value exceeds the price. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you for listening, and hope to see you soon.